Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So Vista Charter Public School Board is going to begin at 5:05 on Monday, May the 20th. I'm going to start with roll call. Paul Vieira will be joining us later. Jody Mollidow here. Michelle Bauer-Bean.
Present.
Thank you. Geronimo Gaetan is not able to join us today. Mimi Kim.
Here.
Perfect. We're going to move now to 1.2, which is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Michelle Bauer-Bean, so moved.
Thank you.
Mimi Kim, second.
Thank you, Mimi. Let's go ahead. Jody Mollidow, yes. Michelle Bauer-Bean.
Yes.
Mimi Kim.
Yes.
Nope.
Mimi.
Yes. Can you not hear me?
Thank you. So
Okay.
last is 1.3, public comment. Is there anyone from the public that wants to address the board tonight? Hearing no one, we're going to move right now. We're going to go into a closed session starting at 5:06.
There we go.
Welcome back, everyone. We are now coming out of closed session. It is almost 5:30. And there's nothing to report. And now Mr. Vieira is going to take over with the consent items. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Consent items. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve tonight's consent items?
So moved.
Second, Michelle Bauer.
Any discussion? All in favor by saying aye. Mimi Kim,
Aye.
Jody Mollidow,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer.
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Consent items have been approved. Information session, 4.1, superintendent report.
All right, I will be giving the superintendent's report. And so first, I want to share that next month, you will all want to be here because we are going to be, or I will be presenting the much anticipated strategic plan that we have been working on all year. So make sure that you're here next month, if for anything, for that. I also want to share some updated enrollment numbers. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. We shared this last month. So as you can see, Vista Charter Middle School has, as of the enrollment dashboard today, 53 new enrollees, which is about 37% of their target enrollment. Horizon is at 40, which is 69% of their target enrollment. Shout out to Mr. Benavides and his team. Palm Lane has 13 new enrollees, which is just under 17%. Condor is at 51 new enrollees, which is about 48% of their target enrollment. Heritage is at 108 new students, which is 74.5% of their target enrollment. And congratulations to Miss Alessandro and her team there at Heritage. And Meridian is at 28 new enrollees, which is just a tad under 40%. So we will continue to update the board on how enrollment is progressing throughout the spring into the next school year. We have a number of other things that we are very excited to share, a lot of shout outs and celebrations. So first, over this past month, Vista Meridian got its initial WASC accreditation and got the full accreditation. So congratulations to Mr. Spire and the entire Meridian team for that. Also earlier this month was Teacher Appreciation Week, among other appreciations. And we had a special appreciation at Palm Lane where thanks to Ms. Prado did all the background work to make this happen. I'm sure many, if not all of you, have heard of the Helpful Honda dealers.
Yes.
So the Helpful Honda dealers came to Palm Lane and surprised one of our amazing teachers, Miss Johnson, with $5,000 of classroom supplies. And Miss Johnson is just an extraordinary teacher. very, very selfless. And she, the entire theme was superheroes, being a superhero teacher. And so, so congratulations to Miss Johnson, and thank you very much, Miss Prado, for making that happen. Also, here at Vista Charter Middle School, VCMS presented on the expanded learning pillar of the community schools grant to the state of California. And in addition to that, LACO just came to the middle school to film our council practices, promoting racially just practices for other community schools around the county. So shout out and congrats to Mr. Summer, Mr. Pirano, Sable Ramos, who I believe is here, and the entire Vista Charter Middle School team. That's amazing, amazing job. Another thing that I would like to share and shout out while we're talking about Vista Charter Middle School is this past weekend, in the Vista Charter Middle School band, led by the amazing Mr. Raven, their sixth grade placed or got first place in their competition, and the 7th, 8th grade band got second place. And this was a middle school, high school competition. They were competing against high schools. And I do want to share a very quick, like 1-minute snippet of one of their songs. If I can find it, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again so we can all enjoy. Okay. Doesn't seem. All right. Mr. Raven has done a magnificent job with that, and you would never notice it by listening to them, but many of those students never had picked up an instrument before this year.
Wow. We will forward all of the videos because it's spectacular, and he has worked with Dudamel. He is the children's choir chorus director as well. He's just it's hard to believe that we got him, but he is amazing.
Congratulations. That's
Absolutely.
great.
And so for our final few things, 2 more items. So first, there is one agenda item on this, but I also want to share with the board that we are in the process of creating sister school partnerships with each of our schools with another school in Taiwan. And so while we have one MOU coming to the board today, we are hoping that very soon we will have 5 additional sister school partnerships, one for each school, coming very, very soon. So that is exciting. And the last item is a bittersweet item. And so another very important reason to come to the June board meeting is because it will be the final board meeting for both Jody as well as Mimi, 2 board members who have served Vista for so long and have meant so much to the Vista family. And so we will save some of our words for next meeting, but I wanted to share that piece. And thank you, Jody, Mimi, thank you so much for everything that you have done. And I'm sure Don has a few words too.
Well, do you know what? I think that we just wanted to make the announcement, but I'm going to save my beautiful words. They will be beautiful for next month when we actually have to say goodbye. So I'm not saying goodbye yet. We have you for one more month.
So that concludes our superintendent's report for this month.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we're gonna go to 4.2, presentation of new board candidates.
So perfect segue. It's almost like we designed it that way. So because we have two amazing board members who will be leaving the board next month, we also have two board member candidates who we will be bringing to the board next month as well for a smooth transition. And these two board candidates are absolutely amazing, and I believe they'll be a perfect fit. We have shared, or I have shared via board docs and the private setting, so board members can view their resumes, so that way you can see what they've done. But I want to give a quick introduction to both candidates. One of our board member candidates is here today on Zoom. So I'll start with her. Her name is Crystal Day. She is on Zoom. So Crystal is a parent in Lake Elsinore, and I feel like just saying parent is not sharing enough. So Crystal is the first parent that showed interest in Vista opening a school in Lake Elsinore. She's a parent of three elementary age children, one of which is a child with special needs. And so she's very, very passionate, not just about education, but also special education. Crystal has a professional background in the biotechnology field, which happens to be one of our career tech pathways. Now you're seeing why. Obviously, she lives in and is very passionate about the city of Lake Elsinore, and she happened to graduate from a charter school in LA herself. So I want to share with all of you Miss Crystal Day. And Crystal, if you'd like to say anything, feel free to share a few words.
That was a great introduction. Thank you, Colin, for that. I think you expressed or gave a good introduction of my background. I'm excited to be a potential new member on the board, and also to see the positive changes that Vista will bring to Lake Elsinore and other families in our community. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
And the second board member candidate that wasn't able to make it, her name is Nisreen Malhis. She professionally is a I'm forgetting the name of the she is a life coach, a certified life coach. And sorry, I was forgetting that word. She's a certified life coach, but she also volunteers and is the vice president of the United Nations Association of Orange County. And so that is something that, as global academies, is near and dear to the work that we do. And so there's a lot of overlap that she does with that, and is very passionate about international relations, gender equality. And so we feel that she would also be a great asset to the board. So those are the board member candidates that we wanted to present to the board.
4.3, okay, thank you, Dr. Phelps. We're gonna go to 4.3, principal reports.
I think Ms. Prado.
Presenting. That one?
Yeah, there's no sound.
How about now?
How about now?
Hello. Yeah,
All
there
right,
we go.
hello. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm excited to report on some of the exciting things that are happening at Palm, and us finishing, strong for this school year has been a commitment that we have really dedicate ourselves to for the entire school year. Right now, recruitment efforts are underway. We are working on developing activities and events that will allow us to connect with prospective students and families. Our ADA remains at 92%. So it's been a school-wide goal this year, really in mass messaging to our families and our students about the correlation between attendance and academic achievement. We received our iReady Diagnostic 3 data. So as a staff, we, as well as in partnership with iReady representatives, we spend a lot of time really dissecting our data and using that not only to end the year strong, but using that to already set ourselves up for a strong launch the new school year next year. Our iReady Diagnostic 3 revealed many reasons to celebrate student success in comparison to Diagnostic 1, which Diagnostic 1 was administered in October and Diagnostic 3 was administered in April. School-wide data revealed in reading that there was a 23% increase in math proficiency, students moving into our tier 1 band, as well as an 18% decrease in students moving out of tier 3. Tier 3 is our students who are 2 or more grade levels below. So we are seeing our students moving across the tiers and into towards proficiency. In math, our iReady diagnostic data revealed a 23% increase in math proficiency. Wow. And so once again, we're seeing that our students are moving across those tiers exactly towards the green, which is tier 1. This past month, we celebrated 188 students were celebrated for meeting their typical growth in either math, ELA, or both. So typical growth is the average annual growth from fall to spring for an average student taking the iReady diagnostic. This is the baseline data for students that's generated after Diagnostic 1, and it remains the same for the whole school year. Our English learners exhibited a 16% increase in proficiency in reading and a 26% decrease in tier 3, which was really great news and call for celebration. Our students with disabilities showed an increase in 11% in reading and a 13% increase in math. So again, we're continuing to strategically plan support for those student groups. Currently, we're in our testing season, so this data is really going to be able to drive decision-making and help us to develop school-wide goals for the next school year. Right now, Palm Lane is in the final phase of planning for our sensational learning camp, which will be held this summer. We're really excited to be partnering with Active Education. We have about a little bit over 80 students enrolled, so we're excited about that. Each week is going to be theme-based, so we have various themes that are really going to be centered on, STEAM-based learning, as well as really offering those enrichment opportunities and extracurricular, such as music, theater, and sports. So the first portion of the day is going to be really just focusing on targeting that academics with an emphasis on that foundational skills and project-based learning. And the second portion at 1:30 to the evening time, 5:30, it's going to really be honing in on those STEAM-based activities. We're going to dedicate Fridays for field trips to be able to enhance those students' perspectives of the world and to promote global competency among our community. This year we had our second annual, so it's kind of exciting. Last year was first annual for everything. So this year we had our second annual Family Day. This is a day to celebrate really our partnerships with our families. We had probably nearly 600 people on our school. It was so exciting. We took over that park, and along with that, we were able to implement our first annual Student Global Project Showcase. So this was an opportunity for all of our students and all of our grade levels to really highlight the work that they've been doing centered around global throughout the school year. So when our parents and families arrived, they received a pamphlet and they were encouraged to visit all of our classrooms, and students were able to receive a lot of praise and answer any questions from visitors. So that was really nice. Our basketball season this year, we had our second annual team. So this year we're going to be hosting our first annual sports banquet, which is really fun. Sports always brings a nice excitement into our school community. As Colin shared, we had our exciting visit from SoCal Humble Helpers. It really was an exciting day because it was a secret. So it was really hard keeping that secret. Everybody thought we were just another Assembly Ms. Prado planned. And so they thought we were going to present on the environment and being kind to our environment. And then lo and behold, it was the Honda Helper. So it was definitely a memorable day for all of us to remember that. In the near future, we are going to have a video. So there was a camera crew on site for nearly most of the day. So they'll be working on creating a fun little video that highlights Miss Johnson and all the work that she's doing. And then lastly, we had a really exciting opportunity to partner with Legacies Utah. So it's a nonprofit who was passing through California. And so they were welcomed by our school community, and they provided a multicultural dance to be able to show our students, the joys of different dances, different musics from throughout the world. So right now we're in the process of surveying our stakeholders through our LCAP surveys, and that's really going to drive those conversations as we launch a strong school year next year. Overall, we're just really proud of the hard work of our staff. This year, we really committed to transforming the school experience, and I can confidently say that we are, and continuing to do that each day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Prado. Now we're going to move to 4.4, Icon Financial Report.
Good evening, everyone.
I have to
Jump in here. Okay. So today we're going to be covering two items. First is the rough preliminary budgets for 24-25 for each of the schools. And then we'll be looking at the March 24 actuals versus the budget. So as we're talking about the preliminary budgets, there are a couple of bullet points that I just want to touch base on to kind of put us in the right mind frame. So the biggest concern or the biggest issue as we move into next year is the cost of living adjustment increase into the LCF funding for next year. So in January, when the governor released his first budget proposal, he was mentioning a 0.76% COLA. At the May revision about a week and a half ago, he's now recommending 1.07%. These are extremely low. So both are very low. The last prior years, we've had up to 8%. We generally had estimates going out about 3.5% for out years. So when the COLA drops to 1% or less than 1%, that really impacts you, because if you're not growing enrollment, your incoming funding isn't enough to cover your increases. So, your salary schedules typically range between 2.5% to about 5% increases per year. You have increases for like your healthcare premiums, which on some years like this year, unfortunately, can get into the low double digits or high single digits. So you have all these increases, but your incoming revenue is only going up by, 1.07 or 0.76%. So I just want to make sure we kind of keep that in mind as we move forward. There's no COLA on some funding like ELOP. So ELOP won't be getting any sort of COLA. And there is a recommendation to have COLA on SB 740, which is what helps pay for your leases and your facilities, special education, and the mandated block grant. But I just want to make sure we kind of keep this in frame as we look at the numbers. Okay. Looking at the first school is Vista Charter Middle. So we're basing next year's budget on enrollment of about 400 students at 95% ADA. So about an over ADA of about 380, which is 37 higher than now. So that does, you're growing your ADA, so you are growing some LCFF. So just over $500,000 in LCFF. The other part that's hitting next year is that ESSER is gone. So all the additional COVID funds that came in over the last couple of years are done with as of September 30th. So there's a lot there, revenue that kind of comes out. So, the middle school is trying to spend all of its COVID funding as they received a lot. So it looks at a reduction about 1.5 million. Now, the one funding we do have is learning recovery funds that the state released last year and that are good through the 27-28 school year. So we're going to start dipping into these funds next year for 3 of the schools to be able to maintain some of those new positions that ESSER was able to fund over the last 2 years. So for the middle school, that's about $250,000 of learning recovery that we're planning to put in. So although ADA is going up 37 points. Total revenues for the middle school is going down by about $1 million. Again, the majority of that is ESSER. So a lot of those additional materials, technology, it's good you load it up now because it's going to get tight for the next couple of years. Looking at expenditures, so the staffing is pretty much on pace. We've had a counselor at the middle school on the budget for the last couple of years. It hasn't been filled. So as things are getting tighter, we decided to kind of just remove that. But even that, again, with your salaries, salary schedules, going up, we still see a slight increase overall in certificated salaries. Non-certificated, there's a kind of restructuring in the office staff. So that led to some savings overall, and benefits in general came down just a little bit. Looking at the expenses, so we took out ESSER, so ESSER expenditures are out, so we did lower, and then we have some other areas that we also kind of dropped a little bit to align with the incoming revenue. So still projecting a positive net income about 234,000, but the key thing is that we wouldn't be there. 250,000 is really cool to be unrestricted net reserve at the end of the year by about $234,000. Looking at Vista Heritage. So again, looking for some growth up to about 375 enrollment, and 95% ADA gets you 356.25, which is about 59 ADA points higher than it is as of P2. So LCFF goes up just over $800,000. Federal revenues come down again, no ESSER, so you dropped off by 611,000. Other state revenues, again, so here we're including 175,000 in learning recovery, and currently about 284 of K-12 and CTIC to support some of the positions, some of the CTE positions, and a portion of a counselor. So overall revenue goes up just slightly, about 251,000. And so, generally when you have 59 ADA, we'd probably be looking closer to about $400,000 in increased revenue, but you're about 251 for the year. Salaries did go up, so just salary schedule increases. Looking at additional PE teacher and then the career CTE teachers that will be coming out of that K-12. Non-secured salaries, we added an additional BII that's full-time. So some increases that increase benefits. Books and supplies came down slightly. There were reductions for ESSER and also some cuts in materials and supplies. As you know, throughout the year, I've talked about how materials and supplies have kind of trended above. Well, we're going to have to, tighten down as we kind of move forward. And the 5,000 series is pretty flat, just kind of came down a little bit. So small net income, about 100,000. That's actually about 1.26%. And we're trying to be between 3 and 5. So it is tight. We are still looking to possibly make some additional staffing changes to look for some savings. So this isn't final, but this is kind of where we are right now for Heritage. And again, driven primarily by being able to tap into that learning recovery funding that we have. And for both schools, we still have a couple $100,000 remaining to be able to utilize in 25, 26, 26, 27, and 27, 28, just in case we need those. We don't want to tap everything, right now in case, we unfortunately enter a recession. Vista Condor, so similar enrollment target of 375. Their growth is a little bit smaller, so just under 42 ADA points. LCFF went up because of the ADA. I should have said increase, not decrease. No ESSER, so again, the reduction in federal. 230,000 increase in learning recovery is what we're projecting to utilize for Vista Condor. So overall, even though it went up by 41 ADA points, revenue went up by just 281. Certificated salaries, so we do have increases for staff members. We added an additional RSP to the budget. Non-secured salaries, we did make some TA adjustments that were kind of funded out of ESSER. So we reduced that a little bit. Benefits went up because there's some more full-time positions that we had prior. And then books and supplies just up slightly. Same thing with the 5,000 series. So overall increase about 354, net income about 173,000. So they're right about 2.2%. And again, this number is made possible by the learning recovery to kind of backfill for that ESSER funding for Condor. Looking to Horizon. So Horizon, we're looking at this budget projected is 170. Mr. Benavides has told me his goal is 180, and he's close to 170 already. So we get above that 170, it's just going to be even better for a Horizon, which would be really nice. So again, overall, strong growth. And the reason why you see stronger revenue for Horizon is the fact that it was so small during COVID that it didn't receive the enormous amounts of ESSER funding that the other schools did. So when you see this reduction in federal, it's only about $35,000. You see a negative for other state revenues. We haven't tapped learning recovery. So that's why that's here. This negative is driven by a couple of changes in terms of one-time funds that were received this year that you're not receiving next year. So that's why you see that. But Horizon will have that recovery as backup for next year and for the outer years as well. We do see some good size increases as we're adding additional teaching staff, both in the security salaries and classified, which adjust benefits. We do have a slight increase in books and supplies. They've been pretty good at staying kind of under their current projections, so I didn't increase too much. The majority of this increase is your food costs for more students. The 5,000 series stayed pretty much flat. Came down a bit, primarily because the prior current year budget had a payment out to LUSD for over allocation in July of 23. Don't see that coming in July of 24, so that saves some funds from there. So overall net income about 96,000, and that's 3.14%. So right in that 3 to 5 bucket, it gets to anything above 170 or really any ADA above 161.5. That's just additional net income for Horizon to build its rainy day fund. Vista Meridian, so looking at enrollment of 260 at 92%, a little bit more conservative as it is a high school. It's still a big growth, about 77 ADA, but you are adding a grade, so hopefully attainable. So overall, revenue goes up quite a bit, 1.9 million, primarily driven by LCFF and by this growth in ADA. As a second year school, you get federal SPED, so you get a nice bump, and then you get increased nutrition because of the high growth in students as well. The big growth in other state funding is now we're looking at a completely private lease. So SB 740 would increase in terms of what you would get from there. And then I do have currently one position that's out of grant funding for Meridian. Other local, I try to be conservative, so that's why it's a slight drop here. But overall growth of just under $2 million in revenue. Expenditures, about 1.6 overall, adding additional staff, additional TAs, office, custodial, now that they're going out into its own facility. Supplies up as well, 5,000 series up, primarily driven by private lease. So overall, slightly into the black, so 95,000, that's 1.85%, so under 2, but near 2% for Meridian. Meridian doesn't have any learning recovery, so can't tap into it. Doesn't have anything for the outer years because it wasn't open during COVID. Last but not least, Palm Lane. So enrollment target I have for the budget is 325, which is an increase of about 60 ADA points when you look at 308.75 at 95%. That primarily drives your LCFF. Again, no ESSER. And then when you look at the expenditures, we added some additional teacher positions. If they don't hit 325, coming at 300, we'll be reducing that to kind of adjust for enrollment. Some adjustments on the classified, a slight increase, overall some benefit increase. Increases on both 4,000 and 5,000 series. For the 4,000, mostly from NSLP. For the 5,000, don't remember, to be honest, but just slight increases. Overall, still nice net positive income for Palm Lane of 288,000, which is just under 5% at 4.8%. Didn't tap into learning recovery because they're in a nice, hit this enrollment in a good, healthy position. If enrollment comes in lower, then we'll be making adjustments as necessary. That's prelim budgets. Looking at the March 24 financials, I'll kind of go through these quickly. The middle school on track, above in the 4,000 series. Don't let the 97% scare you. Most of that is ESSER purchases, as the school is trying to utilize all of its ESSER. So, aside from that, everybody else is on track for the middle school. Their balance sheet at the end of March, they were 7.4 million, cash in banks and clearing account, assets of just under 16. liabilities of 7.4, so equity about 8.5 million. Looking at heritage, so slightly above on certificated, just got the P2 numbers at the end of April. So we're going to be going back, as I mentioned, and kind of reconciling those shared positions. And you see this, kind of out of place for Heritage and Condor primarily because they share so many positions being on the same campus. So the fact that it's 76.45 and we haven't done the reconciliation yet, it's going to be, it's going to adjust correctly and it'll be in a fine position. And that'll affect classified and benefits as well. Book supplies on track. Some specific areas are above, so mainly materials and supplies. The 5,000 series on track again, but some areas are near the max. Overall, in a good position for Heritage. Balance sheet for this year, for the end of March, so 1.6 million cash in the bank and county treasury. Assets of 28.2, but includes the facility. Liabilities 24.7, includes the facility bond, so just equity about 3.4 million for Heritage. Condor, so on track across the board. So they're trending well as they round out the year. Their balance sheet had 3.6 million cash at the end of March in the banks and county treasury. Assets of 25.2, again includes facilities. Liabilities of 20.8, so equity about 4.3 million. Vista Horizon on track, aside from the 4,000 series, above pace in certain areas, but overall they're in a good spot. So they're going to have a good year. Their balance sheet just under 800,000 cash at the end of March. Assets about 1.3 million. Liabilities 184K, so equity of 1.1 for Horizon. Palm Lane, classified slightly above track, but not worrisome. Everything else is on track. The big 45 here is still no facility payments yet to Anaheim. So once you kind of put that in, it puts them a lot closer to that 75%. Have high sub costs, so that's one area that they've been a little bit above, but overall they're in a good spot. So even though they went above there, it shouldn't impact them too negatively at the end of the year. At the end of March, they had 4.1 million cash, assets of 7.2. Liabilities are just under or just around 850,000, so equity about 6.3 million. Meridian, so classifieds above, but everything else is on track, and some areas we're seeing some savings, so trending in a good spot to keep their negative net income at the end of the year as low as possible. Their balance sheet, even though it shows 1.9 million cash, that mostly is the cash flow loan. So the liabilities is 2.2 million. So right now their equity is still negative, but it has improved. Last month you were closer to about 200,000 negative. Now you're only 97,000 negative. Outstanding checks. So here are the checks. Most of these appear to be reimbursements. So again, if you see your employees on here, please make sure that if they haven't cashed their check, then cash their check. If they've lost it, to send in a request if they've lost their check for a stop and a reissue. And then the check registers. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I gotta go back to that screen. Sorry. Okay, 4.5 VCPS audit information and timeline.
All right, I'll keep this quick. So it's something that we obviously have to do every single year, and so our auditors sent us a re-engagement letter, and so between myself, a few other people, including Icon, are collecting a number of the audit documents right now, sending them to the auditors. The audit will start on June 10th, and then it will go through December when they will publish the final audit report. So that is it.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to public hearing, 5.1. Public hearing for the 2024 Local Control Accountability Plan for Vista Heritage Global Academy, Vista Condor Global Academy, Vista Horizon Global Academy, Vista Charter School, Palm Lane Global Academy, and Vista Meridian Global Academy.
So two things to look forward to at the end of the year: graduations and LCAPs. So this is our LCAP public hearing that we have to do before we adopt the LCAP, which will be at the June board meeting. And so I would like to open the public hearing. We will hear from any public comments that the public might have regarding any of our schools' LCAPs, as well as any board member comments. So that way we can take any and all comments and make sure to do our best to integrate them into the LCAPs for the final version. But I want to share that this is the first year of a new 3-year LCAP cycle. So by doing so, we are able to change and create any new goals, metrics, actions, et cetera. For the most part, the LCAPs will remain very similar. But what we're trying to be very strategic and intentional about is aligning our LCAP goals, metrics, and actions to things that we are held accountable to already. So that way it's not just an addition, something else. So for example, we want to make sure that in addition to CASP, which the state holds us accountable to, we also want to have indicators and metrics about iReady growth, and making sure that at least 50% of students at each school are meeting their annual typical growth, because that is something that LAUSD in their oversight every year looks for. And so if we're already embedding that as an LCAP goal, we already are aligning it with what our authorizers are looking for in oversight. We're also trying to align some of the LCAP goals and actions as much as possible to our strategic plan. Again, we want to align our priorities, so we're all working in tandem to the same thing. And so in a nutshell, that is how we're approaching the LCAP this year. So I'd like to open it to any comments that the public might have or that the board might have.
Nothing.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Soyla, community coordinator and also parent of Vista. I think the only thing I would really like to add is thinking about our parents and how we can use our parents to support what the school's already doing in the school and just putting that in the plan.
Thank you, Zoila.
Thank you, that's it.
Anyone else? Okay,
All right, hearing none, I will close the public hearing and give it back to Paul.
thank you, Dr. Felch. Okay, moving to action items. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 6.1? The travel costs in the amount of $2,500 to include travel, hotel, and meals in accordance with our fiscal policies and procedures for the attendance at the Charter School Development Center, the CSDC conference in Sacramento.
This is Jody, so moved.
This is Paul.
Belltower being second.
Okay, we'll acknowledge your second. Thank you, Michelle. Any discussion?
This is for Karen and myself to go to the CSDC conference in November. The early bird pricing ends at the end of this month, and so that's why we brought it to the board.
Very good, thank you. All in favor by saying aye individually, Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Mimi Kim,
I don't think she
okay,
Mimi had to leave the meeting.
had to leave the
Okay.
meeting.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. 6.1 has been approved. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 6.2? The Vista Lago Global Academy MOU with Riverside County Office of Education.
This is Jody, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second, Bauer.
Okay, any discussion?
This is a part of our approval for the Vista Lago Charter. And so we've worked very closely already with the Riverside County staff. Dr. Loomis has been great. And so we were able to put this MOU together.
Very good. We'll take a vote. All in favor by saying aye, Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. 6.2 has passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 6.3, the resolution to establish a bank account for Vista Lago Global Academy?
This is Jody Molladell, so moved.
Can I get a-
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Now that we've got an approved charter, we need a bank account. So this is establishing a bank account for Vista Lago under the same umbrella account that we have for Vista Charter Public Schools at Citizens Bank.
Thank you. We'll take a vote. Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.3 has been approved. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 6.4, the resolution authorizing loan to Vista Lago Global Academy from Palm Lane Global Academy?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
So this is a loan that will allow Vista Lago to start having some operational costs, whether it is facility related, community outreach related, and so on. Since they're not going to generate ADA for another year plus until it opens.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.4 has passed. Can I get a motion to approve 6.5, the promissory note securing the loan to Vista Lago Global Academy from Palm Lane Global Academy?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
This is connected with the last one. These are the repayment terms to Palm
Can we
Lane
try to
from
premium
Vista
on
Lago.
Any discussion?
That's
Any other discussion? Okay, so we'll take a vote. Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. Motion is passed for 6.5. Can I get a motion to approve the 6.6 Vista Lago Global Academy Facility Financing Plan?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Second.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, so we have done a lot of due diligence here for the financing, facility financing for Vista Lago Global Academy. And so we have spoken with 5 different financing entities. And through our due diligence and with support of ICON, we are making the recommendation to the board to finance the facility through a tax exempt bond financing with HJ Sims.
Thank you. Let's take a vote. Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.6 has passed. Can I get a motion to approve 6.7, the Vista Lago Global Academy construction proposal?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
We have also done a lot of due diligence here. We have been receiving quotes and proposals from 3 different construction firms. And so based on our review and our internal discussion, we are making a recommendation to the board to approve a design build construction proposal with BC Construction Group.
We'll take a vote. Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.7 has passed. Can I get a motion to approve the Sister School Partnership MOU between Vista Meridian Global Academy and National Island Commercial Vocational High School in Taiwan?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, so we are very excited about this. First and foremost, I want to share that we have a representative from the national, I think it's Ilan Commercial Vocational High School in Taiwan. Vera here from Taiwan, zooming in. So it is tomorrow morning in Taiwan over there.
Morning. Yes.
And so I want to publicly thank Miss Alice, who is an exchange Mandarin teacher at Vista Heritage this year, who is also on here. Hi, Alice. And so her homeschool that she will be returning back to next month in Taiwan is the National Ilan Vocational High School. And so Alice, I have to thank you for being so important in making this this partnership possible. And we are really looking forward to many years to come of collaborative activities and partnerships, and who knows, maybe one day even travel between Taiwan and here in Southern California. So Vera or Alice, if you would like to share anything, feel free to do so. Thank you so much for coming.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Alice Zhang. I'm here on the scholarship program sponsored by the State Department. I'm here to teach Mandarin for a year in for Condor and Heritage. Oh, hi Heritage, everyone. I should see them. It's an honor to be able to teach our kids here, and during my journey here in Vista, I realized that I think my homeschool and Vista could be sister schools. When I realized this opportunity, there's a slight possibility. I consulted with Dr. Fauci right away, and I was really lucky. I had his full support, and me and the high school teacher, Miss Mashang, were working on the exchange program for the following year after I get back to Taiwan. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and for letting our kids to see the world in a different view. And thank you, Dr. Fauci, for every support that you've given. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I know Vera is here from Taiwan. Vera, do you want to say a few words?
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Vera, the Secretary of National Yilan Commercial Vocational High School in Taiwan. It's a great pleasure to be here as a representative of our school. We have about 1,400 students, aged from 16 to 18, majoring in international trade, computer science, multimedia design, and foreign languages, including English and Japanese. So we organize international trips to Japan every year. And we have signed agreements and memorandum with schools in Japan. Also, many Japanese schools have visited us for cultural exchange. So thanks to Dr. Felch and teacher Alice, we may have a great chance to have collaboration with teachers and students in America, because most of the international teaching activities take place in between Asian countries. So I think this is a really great chance for our students and teachers. So teacher Alice has made a lesson plan for the next year. We sincerely hope that it's a good beginning for our future collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we need to vote to approve the.
Okay, we're gonna take a vote to approve. Jody Mullado,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.8 has passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve the updated VCPS bus driver pay scale?
This is Jody Moldow, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, so your first thought would be thinking of the budget. This has a very, very, very minor budgetary impact. This keeps the bus driver pay scale in year one the same, but it has been a flat pay scale. So this will allow it to increase by 3% from year one to year 5 in the pay scale.
Okay.
So for example, if we have a year 4 bus driver, they're not being paid the same as a year 1 bus driver.
And Colin, I just want to add for that bus drivers have been notoriously hard to to hire.
Yeah, we have 3 buses in Santa Ana and we've only had 1 bus driver.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we just have to find a way to get good bus drivers. And it's not our problem, it's across the state of California.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take a vote. Jody Mullado,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. Motion 6.9 has passed. Can I get a motion to approve 6.10, the ratification of resolution to open Schwab account through E&E Financial Services and transfer funds to account.
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, so we talked about this a few months ago when we were working on the E&E financial agreement. This is the actual account opening and transferring funds to the account.
Very good. Can we take a vote? Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.10 is passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 6.11, the 2024-2025 insurance policies and premiums?
Jody Molladell, so moved.
Bauer, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, so as you probably remember, 2 months ago, we had a special board meeting to explore our insurance options. And so we did just that. We looked at 4 different insurance options, gathering quotes, seeing what was out there in terms of coverage as well as premium costs. And so we ended up coming back to ASKIP and recommending that we continue and renew with ASKIP. And by doing so, we will be saving approximately $60,000 in premiums for next year. So
Okay.
it was definitely beneficial to go through this process. Absolutely. So that is our recommendation to the board to stay with ASKIP and adopt their renewal plan.
Can we take a vote? Jody Molladell,
Aye.
Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Paul Viera, aye. 6.11 is passed. That brings us to board comments. 7.1.
Thank you. Very informative.
You will definitely miss Mimi and Jody.
On this already.
Yes.
But I welcome our new members.
Otra. Okay, so if there's no other comments, we can just need someone to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Michelle, let's do this together.
We make a motion to adjourn tonight's evening.
We do. Second too.
Okay, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, aye, aye.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.